Good afternoon, Black Wall Street family. Welcome again. We are here in Dallas at the DoubleTree Hotel, and we are interviewing Dr. Donald Evans, who is the elder statesman of Black Wall Street USA, and he's also the sitting chair of Black Wall Street USA Dallas. Not to mention the fact, or not to fail to mention the fact, that he is also the founder and the director of NAAFRA, which is the National African American Family Reunion Project. And with that being said, I'd like to pan over to Dr. Donald Evans so that we can get some information on the project that he's working on. Dr. Evans.
Thank you, Sister Rachel. And the project that I'm working on, that Sister Rachel just introduced you to, is one that I'm very passionate about because it has such promise for all of us who are born of the loins of black woman. And the thing that I have been looking for and searching and praying and hoping for is to find a plan that we all can support without it interfering with where we are in our mindset as far as relationship to what others may be doing. We all can still be working on family, making our families stronger, helping our families to secure some of the things that we have never enjoyed as citizens of these United States of America, a land that I'm sure all of us love because our investment, our patriotism is not colored the same as it is anyone else because we didn't come in the same direction they came from.
Yes.
We came because we were invited with shackles on us to come here. That's how bad they wanted us to come. They needed us, and we came against our will. But when we did come against our will, we gave our blood, sweat, and tears for many years, and never a cent has ever been paid for that service. But we don't sit around crying. We don't have another 300 years to wait for anyone to do for us.
Absolutely.
Which doesn't seem to be coming. But we do know in our hearts that God has blessed us
Yes.
to take care of ourselves. We are a very intelligent people. That may not come across as being apparent to many people that wish to continue to degrade the black man, the African man, and the African woman. But I'm here to tell you, NAAFRA is here to stay. We are going to get it done. It
Yes.
is a doable project, bringing all of our families together. Those that have family reunion activities in their annual celebrations, we want each one of them families connected to the next family, and then the next family,
Yes.
all the way across until we embrace everyone in NAAFRA. And then the things that we will do will be to create jobs, to create businesses, to give people employment for the rest of their lives, where we can spend our money on ourselves, where we can put the dollar stores in our communities that we own,
Yes.
that our people are working, our families are working,
That's awesome.
where our people who have been incarcerated, who have that stigma placed on them, and they try to keep you from getting employed by that stigma that is placed on you. But we want to help them to come away from drugs, come away from guns, and come away from early graves in the graveyard and live out your life fully. That's what this is about. It's about economics. It's about education. It's about our health. It's about taking care of our children who have dropped out of school. It's about taking care of those who have diabetes and may not have the health insurance that they need. Is to take a look at what President Obama has put on the books, this health care thing. Many people don't want us to have it, but we have to see, can we get it in spite of them?
Right.
These are the kinds of things that NAAFRA, that will become the voice for the black reunion family in the United States of America. And for those families who are not having reunion celebrations, we want to encourage them to start having reunion celebrations. We want to encourage them to try to find any relatives that they have that they don't know who they are. We will go into checking out the genetics of these individuals who have same names, but they may not know that they are related to the person. We want to check these things out because we are here to make change.
That's
Now,
beautiful. Now tell us what really got you motivated? What put you on this path for the Family Reunion Project? How did that come about?
well, I'm glad you asked that question because I'm very passionate about it. I had been going to family reunions when I first heard about family reunion. I was just coming off a vacation. I was employed by the U.S. Post Office after I had spent 26 years in the military. And when I came off vacation, I didn't have another vacation to take. But when I found out that my family was having a family reunion, I said I was going to go, and I went. Now, one of the supervisors, he was a white supervisor. I don't mean to tell you that to say that it would not have been a black one had he been my supervisor at the post office. He told me I couldn't go. I said, you got the wrong person to be telling him what he can't do. I didn't spend 26 years in the military saluting that flag and serving my country, coming away with an honorable record for no man to tell me what I can't do.
Absolutely.
Now, you may take action against me when I come back, but I'm going to Chicago, and that wasn't singing the blues, that was singing facts.
Absolutely.
And I went, and I have you to know that was the most enjoyable time of my life.
Yes.
Because my dearest aunt that was still alive at that time lived in Gary, Indiana, and she went with me. She was the only one, but she and I had the most wonderful time.
Yes.
So from that point on, I was very attentive to family reunion.
Okay.
But one thing that disturbs me, I don't believe in celebration for celebration's sake. I don't believe in going to family reunions to tell the sisters they look good and they're growing old, because I know they already look good, they're my relative. So I don't have to go there to tell them that. But when I do go to family reunion, I'm interested in progress. I'm interested in the family growing stronger. I'm interested in the family learning how to grow well. I'm interested in all of our children going to school,
Yes.
so that they will be able to make the family stronger when they bring their education and their ideas back to help to grow businesses and what have you. So I was invited to speak at the largest family reunion that occurred in Fordyce, Arkansas, and last year, almost a year ago now. And when I was speaking, the vision came in my mind to find out how many in this audience is married into the Rogers family.
Right.
So when I asked them to give me a show of hands, they did. After that, I knew what to say. I said, well, you came from a family. You have connected another family to this family.
Yes.
But we don't have any relationship to the family that you connected
That you're
to this
connected
family.
to. Right.
So what I'm telling each one of you in the audience, and I told them, we have to do better than that.
Yes.
And I will take the lead position because I don't want to depend on somebody to do something that they don't do it. And I wind up getting angry at my family members because I'm in a hurry. I'm 85 years old.
Yes.
And I'm on the downside of the mountain. I'm not on the incline. And I know that. And I'm being realistic.
Yes.
But while I'm here,
Yes.
while I have breath in my body, while I have spirit in my body,
Yes.
while I have soul in my body, that's the reason why I wanted Black Wall Street to know that the passion I'm bringing in Black Wall Street, you would think that it's my project.
Yes.
That's
It is
what
your
I want you.
project.
That's what I
It
want
is
you
your
to know.
project.
I got
Absolutely.
that. And that's beautiful because
Yes.
that's the way I feel. I want the children to understand what happened in Black Wall Street. What are we talking about when we say Black Wall Street? Are we hating the white people? Of course not. That's stupid. And let me tell you this. Hate and love does not exist in the same place. It can't happen.
Yes.
So if you're in love with yourself, you have no problem loving other people.
That's correct.
Those that do wrong should always be punished, whether you're black or white. If you do wrong, you should pay the penalty for it.
Yes.
And it was a wrong done there in Black Wall Street.
Yes.
That debt is a debt, the same way it is the slavery that we came through, the kidnapping, the raping of our mothers. All of that is a debt,
Yes.
and that debt is still owed. Does that mean that we hate the United States of America? Do we hate Spain? Do we hate Germany? Do we hate England? Do we hate France? Do we hate? Of course we don't.
Right.
We're not a hateful people.
That's right.
We don't go around strapping bombs to ourselves and walking into white churches to blow them up. That's not
right.
the black man's cause.
Absolutely.
You don't find that. You have hung us from many trees, and we know all about strange fruit.
Yes.
We know all of that. But our hearts are not filled with hatred.
That's right.
But one thing we can't do, America, you have to understand. We know none of you are coming forward to help us to get our lives and our families straightened out.
Right.
And we really bless you for helping the Hispanic brothers get their lives straightened out.
That's right.
And people should stop talking about sending 11 million of them back across the border.
That's right.
Because that's silly. What you should do is sit down and use your brain power to figure out how we're going to make this thing work, and then make it work.
Absolutely.
And
because they are here.
I'll tell you something else. The United States of America had the greatest opportunity that it has had since this country has been in existence to get our lives straightened out when you elected Barack Obama.
Yes.
When that man was elected, here was the opportunity for America to say, now we need to straighten this mess out that's been going on.
Too long.
But instead, there are still player haters out there. Every time the president opened his mouth, almost every gun shop sell out of guns and all of that, because somehow or another somebody thinks that he's trying to steal the country. I don't know what he would do with it if he did steal it.
Where's he going to take it?
That's silly in the first place.
Yeah.
And I'm saying all of this to tell you that when you are born from the loins of a woman, what you are born into is a family. That's the first thing you're born into. You're not born into a church. You're not born into a religion. You're not born into a government.
That's right.
You're born into a family.
Or a political party.
That is correct.
None of that.
God gave you a family.
That's right.
That's what we have. That's what we have got to continue to work with to get our families back together. And NAAFRA has a way. We may not have the only way, but we have a way.
Absolutely.
That we are going to put forward to do that. And we're going to do everything that we possibly can to find out every farmer, every family that owns land that is not under production now, to get that land under production.
Absolutely.
To put farmers on it that really know how to farm, to grow the produce that we need, that our people will eat better.
Yes.
But the main thing is that we can create family buffet restaurants in order for us to create jobs. And I'm talking about massive jobs. I'm not talking about no small time thing. And if our churches will just help, nobody has to change the way they see their religion. We want you to do more of it and to be more faithful to God and your belief and your faith.
And wherever He has put you.
But we will work with all of the other churches. We don't have to change a thing. What we have to do is to get in our mind that we are going to change the way people see us.
And the way we see ourselves.
Definitely the way we see ourselves.
Yes.
That goes without saying.
One of the main things, because the church is such a mainstay in the Black community, that's the place where we can really come together and we can have our pastors and our leaders to encourage the family members to come together and wrap themselves around the urgent call so that we can pull ourselves out of this hole that we're in right now.
Without a doubt. And
Yes.
whenever you see our churches and you see what's going on in our churches, I talk about the gospel singing. I really believe in gospel singing. And for those of you that may be offended, I don't apologize. I also believe in the blues because that's a part of my culture.
Yes.
All of these things, blues, jazz, rhythm and blues, is all tied together in who we are as a people.
Yes.
We express the struggle in music.
Yes.
We know how to do that better than anybody.
Yes.
And when the Black church first came into being, it was because we were not wanted in the church, that the masters and the planners and all of those who were owning people,
Yes.
they didn't want us in the churches. So we looked through the window and saw what they were doing. And because we thought that the owners had the best thing, because they were the owners and we were the captives.
Yes.
So what we did, when we did find out what was going on, we showed them what church was all about.
Really about.
And it is still going
Real
on.
church.
And whenever you see Brother Kurt Franklin get up in front of a choir and start directing, then you will know what church is all about.
Absolutely.
You hear Sister Yolanda Adams open
Dottie
that beautiful
Peoples.
mouth. Oh, yes, yes. And Sister
Yes.
Berea, without a doubt.
Yeah, oh yeah,
That's
Kim
my
Burrell.
darling.
Oh
Yes,
my
she's my
goodness.
darling.
Yes,
So what I'm
sir.
saying is that these things that is dear to us has to be our pillar that is going to help us to get out of the situation that we are in. I'm working on a plan right now to put it out there, and I'm calling it NAAFRA's plan. And that plan is to be our guideline for getting ourselves out of the situation that we're in. It is not going to be cheap. We will not have anybody running off with no funds. This is nobody to play with, I'm telling you now. But anybody like an Oprah or Russell Simmons or Robert Johnson, whenever they donate anything to this plan, I'm inviting them. Send your attorneys along with it because you have attorneys. I know you do.
Yes.
Don't expect us to be able to hire the kind of attorneys that we need to keep us out of trouble where we don't get into it with the federal government and how we are doing what it is that we are going to do. But one thing I will tell you, Black America, don't sit around waiting for somebody to give us reparations. Reparations is already in our hand. You can donate money to NAAFRA and write it off. And you can call it reparation or call it anything you want to call it. The main thing it is that we will use that money to invest and build, and then the country will have a higher tax base because the money is going to come right back into the government. So don't let anybody get it twisted and think that we're trying to jack the government, because
Absolutely.
there are those out there that will try, and I'm going to tell them right now. I didn't spend 26 years in my life, in the military, going where Uncle Sam sent me, and he sent me to 2 battlefields. And I'll have you to know I was scared many times, and I prayed many times. Let me get back home to see my family.
Yes.
But never let me be a dishonorable man to the point where I can't say that I'm proud of my service or my children when they look back into my history. My great-grandchildren, I want them to be proud. I want our families to be proud.
Absolutely.
There are many servicemen in our families right now. And I'm speaking to you brothers and sisters who have been in the military. You have skills that maybe you're not using for the family. You're already in the family. You don't have to have a new organization. The only thing I'm asking you to do is to come forward and give your leadership and your talent to making sure that NAAFRA have the infrastructure that we need to make this project work. And we're going to continue to work it until it works. Now let me say something else about Black Wall Street while I'm on it. When I say Black Wall Street, I'll have you to know it's the same as when I said NAAFRA. I'm saying Black Wall Street. There is another organization out there, and we have formed an alliance that we're working together. And you need to know who these organizations are. You need to know who the leaders are, and you need to communicate with these leaders. I want you to get to know them as well as you know your uncle or your daddy or your brother in your families. And I want you to talk to them. Find out from them, what is it that I can do to make this work? Now let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know the history of Black Wall Street, I'm begging you, learn that history and understand what our people were able to do there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They were able to do that in spite of the hardships, in spite of the oppression that we were in. And when that riot occurred, that killed many of my people, our people, many of America's people, it was so hurtful that anybody could hate you enough to shoot you down like wild animals. But there were black shot as they were trying to escape the riot area. There were those that sat in a safe position and shot them down. Check your history. Don't take my word.
Right.
So I'm telling you, I'm not bitter. What I am bitter about, because there is bitterness in me, I'm bitter about me as a black man would sit on my behind and do nothing to change the conditions that some of our people that are existing in these United States of America below the poverty level right now as I sit here talking. We have got to find those families, and we have got to lift them up, and we have got to make sure that they have employment and to make sure that the elders in those families are taken care of. We have these things to do,
Absolutely.
and NAAFRA will be able to do it. Again, you can go to my website right now, and it is NAAFRA, NAAFRA, the National African American Family Reunion Association.org. Go to it right now and see everything that I'm telling you is coming to fruition. And there are other things too that you will learn about by going to that website.
And let's not fail to mention that it's absolutely no cost to them. It's a courtesy as a part of Black Wall Street that you have offered this so that the families can sign up and utilize all of the information that you have there for organizing family reunions, a plethora of resources that they can just sign up and register their families for free just in order to bring everything into fruition. So one of the things we are very excited about is that as the elder statesmen of Black Wall Street, we're looking for great things from the organization, but more importantly, we're excited about the leadership that you bring to Black Wall Street as a whole. And so we want to honor you, and we want to appreciate, and we want to also acknowledge that we are grateful, and I want to bring back to the table the fact that you talked about the years that you served in the military. And the Bible clearly says to render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So we want to make clear that we have no intentions and no desire to be a fraction of the government, but to enhance the people that come from our tree, to help them to be better in this country, to raise them out of a level of poverty, not to be dependent on welfare or dependent on anything. Because all of those systems were temporary. Those were not put in place for us to be able to survive and thrive from generation to generation. So we as a people have known how to build and how to create and how to make things happen. We're the ones that take a potato and make a pot of soup and feed the whole community.
Yes.
You know, so in this time that we're in now, those are some of the skills that we're going to be bringing to the table, even as a part of the restaurants, and so we can begin to grow our own food and teach our young people about agriculture and teach them about how to develop different skills for building. So it's so many things that we have in the making. And so Black Family Reunion Association is a very integral part of what we're doing. So we're so excited. So what are your last statements and things that you want to speak about in conclusion, so that we'll have a complete picture of what's going on? Because again, we acknowledge that you are the elder statesman, and we will talk to you a lot more, because you have a wealth of knowledge and information and experience that we need as a people to be able to pull from you, so that we can use it and pass it on from generation to generation.
I want to say, for this part of your introduction to NAAFRA, introduction to my participation at Black Wall Street, and I certainly want to be speaking on behalf of Trinity Cross Foundation as I become more knowledgeable about Trinity Cross Foundation, because their mission is to build something like 5 resort centers, huge resort centers, where many families can come there and have their family reunion celebrations at one time. But we will be spending the money on ourselves instead of always spending the money outside of our involvement. We want to recycle that money to make that money grow for creating the jobs that we need, so that Uncle Sam isn't always faced with the fact that our unemployment rate is always double whatever the average unemployment rate is for the nation.
Right.
Now, what I want to say at this point is that we as a people have got to stop expecting anyone, the government, the church, anyone besides God to do for us what God has already done when he gave us the brain that he gave us, when he let us learn ahead of everybody else. That's why we were captured on our continent, and that was why the leaders of Spain issued that acento in order to keep them from fighting among themselves about how many they were going to take off the continent.
Right.
That happened, and if you check your history, you will understand the things that have happened to us should make us stronger, not weaker. It should fill us with love, not hate.
Absolutely.
It should fill us with courage, not timidness, and not cowardice. And one thing that it definitely has to do, it has to strengthen us enough to come away from guns, to come away from the love of drugs, and all of those things that destroy and take a family down. So that is Black Wall Street's purpose. That is NAAFRA's purpose. And I'm telling you again, when you talk about these twins, or these triplets, in the case of the three organizations I just called, before this year is out, there will be many other organizations in this alliance out of the black community that right now, as we sit here, they too are working to make our country stronger. A strong black family has the potential to make America strong, not weaken it. When you weaken a black family, for those of you who are in the process of trying to destroy our family, you're weakening America is what you're doing. And you are intelligent enough to know that, but your greed caused you to want to buy the White House, not win it. And you saw what the power of the vote can do when people stand up and say, no, your billionaire dollars don't mean anything here.
Greed and fear.
The ballot box will equalize that.
Yes.
And I want the same passion in NAAFRA to turn around our situation. And I want to say one other thing, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart. Whenever a brother of mine has the compassion to help our people to grow, it does not matter to me that his name is Louis Farrakhan. What matters to me is that he is in my family. He is trying to get us to do the right thing. He's trying to get us to protect our women, to protect our children, to learn how to grow food, to learn how to eat correctly, to learn how to live a better life. I have not known that man since the time I went to the Million Man March to this day, sitting right here in this beautiful hotel in Dallas, Texas. I have never known him to ask me to hate anyone. And anybody that tells that lie, I tell you that's exactly what you are. Now, there may be many of you that do not like the brother. There are many people that don't like me, but that does not matter to me. What does matter to me is that the ones that do love me, white, brown, or black, they love me for who I am. I don't hate anyone, but I am a person that do my research. We have got to get our children into doing research because we want them to know the truth, and we want them to know how to find the truth.
Absolutely.
We do not want anybody lying to them and telling them to hate our brother because our brother is trying to get us to do right. So I want you to understand.
And the Bible clearly says you'll know the truth, and the truth will make you free. And that's all we're looking for, to be vessels to bring about freedom. Free the mind, and everything else gonna follow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. And so Black Wall Street, USA, and family, friends, we just want to thank you. And in conclusion, we want you to go to NAAFRA, National African American Family Association.org, and sign up. Register your family. Utilize the resources that are there. Sign up for BlackWallStreetUSA.org. There's one organization, and it's headquartered in Oakland, California, and our leader is Dr. Michael Carter, Pastor Michael Carter, and all the associations. We have Dallas, we have Oakland, we have San Diego, we have New Orleans. Go on the website, research, check us out, utilize everything that we have. And so again, we're coming to you from the DoubleTree Hotel in Dallas, Texas, with the very esteemed Dr. Donald Evans, my dad who adopted me. And we are so excited, and we're looking forward to many things in the future. So again, we're going to say peace out.